know why we don't celebrate Christmas?
It's only one day.
One day is all it takes.
Can I ask, do you actually know what really happened?
My grandparents died on Christmas Eve 50 years ago.
Oh, no one's gonna find out. And no one's dying tonight. I've listened to all stories about Jack Frost growing up, and I've never heard any of that stuff. We've got to do something. Stay back!
Hi guys, welcome to another video. Hope you're all keeping well. Now for this video, I'd like to review a British horror movie that I watched just the other night on one of the YouTube channels. It was directed by Lana Fiala, and it stars Nicola Rice and Sarah T. Cohen. And that movie is called Jack Frost. Now, before I say anything else, this movie's got no relation whatsoever to the two American movies that were made some years ago, Jack Frost and Jack Frost 2. No connection whatsoever. It's just a British horror thriller. Yeah. Okay. So it basically centers around the mythical, mischievous a character, you know, who wreaks havoc during the winter time, Jack Frost. But as I say, it's an entirely different movie from the American versions. Yeah. Now, The Curse of Jack Frost, it's basically the story revolves around this British family who live in the countryside and are suddenly terrorised by this demon, the titular character, Jack Frost. Now, it's got something to do, the story's got something to do with something that happened, you know, back in that family history, which they're trying to get the bottom of in order to sort of like make the connection between that they're terrorised by this, you know, this demonic character called Jack Frost. Now, apparently, the curse relates to a guy who at one time refused to bury a piece of Jack Frost's body after he was forced to endure an Osirian face or something similar. Yeah. Okay. So that's basically the story of this new movie, Jack Frost. Okay, then, guys. So on to my thoughts now on the movie as a whole. Now, although it's quite I suppose you could say it's quite a Christmassy kind of horror movie to watch, you know, around about this time of year. Unfortunately, I didn't rate it in quite the same category as such iconic classics as Black Christmas and Silent Night, Deadly Night. I thought the story was very, very poor. It was slow. It was dull. And in some scenes, it reminded me of A Nightmare on Elm Street. You know, the Freddy Krueger movies where he came out with wisecracks and that. And I think the character of Jack Frost was based loosely on the character of Freddy Krueger, you know, with the bald head and that, and the claw-like hands and that, and the wisecracks and that. Yeah, very, very average British horror movie, guys, unfortunately. And nowhere near as good as as I say, the classics and that, you know, what I can go back to again and again, you know, every Christmas time. Yeah. I thought like the storyline could have been much better, you know, although like you could have sort of like expanded on the character of Jack Frost a bit more and made him more sort of like entertaining and thrilling, but the poor storyline, like, you know, I'm afraid like it did nothing at all to enhance the enjoyability factor of the movie and that, you know, and at times like I was just downright bored, you know. And there's one crazy scene in it as well where Jack Frost attacks this girl, the group of friends are in the woods and like in the snow, the sort of like the snow-capped, among the snow-capped trees and the bushes and that, and they're sort of like in the woods and that, and Jack Frost comes along and attacks one of these girls, and he turns into this kind of like weird zombie-like creature and that, you know. I thought that was a little bit corny and that, you know, the way she acted and that, you know, yeah, the storyline, like, you know, it was very, very average, you know. When I first saw the sort of like the thumbnail on YouTube and that, you know, I thought, I'll have to watch that, you know, because it really hit me eye and that. You can't get it, as far as I know, you can't get the movie currently in the UK, but you'd have to send up to Amazon for it, you know, or a deal on eBay selling it, because I watched it, as I say, I watched it online. But yeah, I was very, very disappointed with it, you know. I'll give it one. There was one redeeming aspect about it, and that was the Christmas snowy setting. And as you know, I love horror movies with Christmas snowy settings. But even there, like some of the dark scenes, sort of like detracted from the enjoyability factor of the movie, you know. Yeah, I don't think I'll be revisiting this one. You know, you could tell it was very, very low budget as well, you know, and there wasn't one single character in it that I could root for, you know. Even the main protagonists and that, you know, found them very, very flat and dull and wooden, you know, and the movie just wasn't scary. And the kills, and I suppose while some of them were quite creative, there was something like you'd see like in a very, very badly edited TV movie. They were quite tame. For instance, there was a scene where Jack Frost kills one woman, a neighbour, and it just goes off as he starts to kill. It just goes off, you know. But yeah, it looked as if it was, as I say, like a kind of a TV movie that was heavily cut, you know, not really sort of like a horror movie that really shocked you, really entertained you, you know. And I'm afraid it was a missed opportunity here, guys, because you know, they could have developed a much better storyline for this Jack Frost character. You know, it had potential, but as I say, it was a missed opportunity, and I don't think I will be adding Jack Frost 2022 to my Christmas horror movie collection. All right then, guys, on to a rating now for Jack Frost 2022. Yeah, I'm only going to give it like a 3 out of 10, guys. That's all it deserves. You know, the story was very flat, very dull, you know, and in parts quite slow, you know. But yeah, it didn't frighten me in the least bit. You know, I've seen scarier things on kids' Saturday morning TV shows. You know, but as I say, what annoyed me, you know, they were sort of like, it was a bit too reminiscent of Freddy Krueger. You know, when he started going comedic and that, coming out with corny wisecracks and that. And the character of Jack Frost himself as well, the whole visage was a bit weird, because when he spoke, his lips didn't move. So it's a kind of a very, very bad ventriloquist kind of act, you know. He had this deep voice and that, you know, and it's sort of like a deep laugh, well, you know. But, you know, apart from that, you know, as I say, apart from that, they were the only, and of course the killings, they were the only real monstrous aspects about the character. I mean, he could have very easily been slotted into a kid's fairy story, you know, and there was no real air of unease and malevolence running throughout the movie. Like, you know, like movies like Black Christmas and Silent Night, Deadly Night, they had a real almost palpable sense of you know, ominousness running through the whole movie and that. But this didn't have it, guys, I'm afraid. You know, it was very, very flat, you know, very dull, and as I say, I don't think I'll be revisiting Jack Frost 2 anytime soon. Yeah. All right then. Okay. Have you seen this movie by any chance? I know it's a relatively new movie, so I presume quite a lot of you haven't. But if you have, what are your thoughts on it? Do you share my own low opinion of it? My low opinion of it, that it wasn't much really home to it, wasn't much to write home about, and it could have been much better. Yeah, leave your comments down below. I'd be very interested, you know, to hear what you thought of it and that. But yeah, as I say, you could tell it was a real low budget production, guys, you know. And as I say, the only thing I liked about it really was the snowy Christmassy setting, you know, and when you compare it to other British low-budget movies like Jack in the Box and Humpty Dumpty, this pales by comparison, you know. Very, very disappointed in it and that, you know. And as I say, I won't be adding it to my Christmas horror movie collection, you know. All right then, guys. Well, that concludes my review of the new Jack Frost movie. Yeah. I'll be back very, very soon with another video. Okay. Take care. See you all soon. Bye for now.